for everybody. I'm glad you're here. We'll just make it up brief for that. I'm Robert Levy, and I'm here to say this presentation of some of my successes and of what I have accomplished. So let's begin with that right now. Okay, I like being part of society by helping out in the community. I also like helping out with my family and being proud of my faith, and also being proud at work too. I have learned from all my mistakes and taking risks in the past. I have also taught people that people with disabilities are capable and can be a helpful part of everything they do. Here's a picture of me. Oh, okay. Here's a picture of me in the Cleveland Music Institute. When the doctors told my parents that I was incapable of taking care of myself, and they thought I wouldn't be having an independent lifestyle, like going to work and being more independent. They thought I was going to have to be placed in a mental institution, and that's where I was going to be. Why did they think that? It's because they thought, well, they thought that they didn't think I was going to be able to handle life, and you know, they thought I was going to have problems keeping a job and handling adult responsibilities. And then I did, you know, and then I proved them wrong, that I can be successful in life, and being part of the community, helping out, and so that was the story on that part. Now this is a picture of me at my bar mitzvah. When I had my twinning bar mitzvah, it was not only I had my bar mitzvah for myself. I helped out a young boy, who couldn't have one. He had lived in Russia, Leningrad, Russia, back then was what it was. It's now St. Petersburg, but he couldn't have one because they wouldn't allow them to have bar mitzvahs. And it's important for people who have other developmental disabilities for being included in religious ceremonies in their temples or churches, because their ceremonies are the way that people are accepted into their religious communities and tie them into their faith history. So this is a picture of me on the track team. I did the best because my teammates encouraged me to, even though I wasn't as fast as them, they told me to keep on going and not quit and not give up and finish, you know, just because, you know, and just because of that, to do the best you can. And when they also helped me learn to finish, it's because, you know, like I said, you don't have to be as quick. You don't have you're your own individual, and that quitting. You know, when I ran cross country and track in high school, it gave me the sense of responsibility not to be a quitter or a failure and say I give up, I'm not going to finish. To finish it anyways, what you start. It's like you finish what you start. And then when I was part of the team, and is to meet new people, meet new friends, get to know people who have disabilities, and get so that way they know who you are, and that way they can feel that you're a part of their community, and maybe get to be friends someday, and then that way that we're all equal to be part of the the group. This is a picture of me at martial arts. What taught me to be in martial arts is because it taught me self-control, self-respect, and also it helped me, gave me self-coordination, helped my coordination out to stay focused at jobs and concentrate on your jobs and things like that. And that's how I learned martial arts, and that's what martial arts was about. And also learning self-defense in case if somebody tries to attack you, you can go back and defend yourself and tell these people that are not nice people that I can just stand up for my rights and say, I'm not going to take it, so I just defend myself. And that's why martial arts is good for you, to stand up to those not nice people. This picture was for me when I graduated from high school, when I walked up and got my high school diploma. And the reason why graduation is a good accomplishment, when you graduate from high school, you never stop learning. You learn new things as you get out of high school. It's not the end. You still learn new things, like I'm learning now at the Statewide Self-Advocacy Network. I'm learning how to stand up for people who have other development disabilities. And right now we're in the case of the process of hopefully getting 1041 passed, so that way it can be signed into law employment first. Anyways, I'm going to keep going. The Conservation Corps was a picture of me in the California Conservation Corps. So the jobs I learned, the jobs I did was I built a handicap ramp. I build fish habitats. So the handicap ramp, what I built, what we built over there was in Golden Gate Park in San Francisco. And then, so we restored it. We didn't build it. We did rebuild it, but it's restored. So, anyways, and then living at the dorms taught me to live with roommates, to get along with roommates and other people, and be more independent. When you're not living with your parents, in case that your parents pass away, you have to learn to be more independent and not very reliable for. And then what I learned when after 7 months when I left, I didn't get all the support I needed for the Conservation Corps, because I was talking back at my superiors. So when I came, and then I decided 2 months later, I decided I wanted to come back because finishing was the answer. So I did my 1-year contract and I did finish. So you can't limit yourself with Ultra Regional and saying Ultra Regional is your only choice. There's other choices. People at your own age should either go to college or do the California Conservation Corps. And that's what I chose, is the California Conservation Corps for a 1-year contract. So I worked on several crews as a bakery, janitorial, and landscaping. Crews have companies. Crews are hired by the companies. Supervisors and coworkers don't get to know you, so there is no chance at getting a real job. They don't get a real, because they're only there at a certain point, and then they said if the contract is up and they can't renew it, they have to let you go. And that's why these crews had, the jobs has ended, because they just don't renew the contract, so they just let them go. Like when me and one of the clients who my SF is with, he was in the same thing like me, and he worked at the bakery, so he had gotten let go, like me, and we were good workers too. It's just it just didn't. That's one of the reasons why contract jobs don't work out. And then support. Then I got into support employment. I got help to interview and find a job and learn the tasks. After I learned my work responsibilities, I work independently. I can't keep my job until I want to change. Not on a contract with a crew. So that's why working for employment is better, or regular employment. You can stay on the job, and you got a supervisor, and they can watch you, and they can know that you do a good job.
Robert, you want to just do that little story about what happened at Pride?
And at Pride, and it's the same thing at Pride. I used to work at Pride Industries. I used to work at a shelter workshop, and one of the reasons why, when I worked at a shelter workshop, it's one of the reasons why we're trying to get this employment first policy passed, is so that people like me don't have to suffer the consequences in getting paid low money and low wages. They can go out in the community and say they can have a choice to work and go into regular employment after they graduate from high school. So that's why that's one of the reasons why we want to pass that bill.
Robert, you were also Employee of the Month at Pride?
And I was Employee of the Month, when I was Employment of the Month at Pride, back in May 1992, I asked them if I wanted to be into regular employment or support employment, and they said that wasn't ready. And I asked them why wasn't I ready, if I was Employee of the Month, why wasn't I ready for support employment or regular employment? SSAN is a group of people with development disabilities from across California who get together every 3 months to learn their problems that affect people with disabilities and think of solutions. So we get together every 3 months and we find out the problems and solutions, and we try to fix it. That's people who have other disabilities, development disabilities, are part of the group, and with their staff too. How being part of the group of the network, 1, keeps me informed, so I take action. Number 2, network with other self-advocates. What have I done to be a self-advocate? AB used to be 2338, now it's 1041. And number 2 is UN Convention on the Rights of People with Developmental Disabilities. They signed the same thing to several other countries, but I think they're still trying to get it to be worldwide, but they haven't done that yet. So they're working on it. Okay, now my family encourages me to be involved in everything to the best I can. It means to be involved with my work, my school, my education, and trying to be a productive, responsible adult. And I used to go to swim lessons in Florida, in Miami, Florida, and I used to take guitar lessons in Miami, Florida, even Sacramento. I even took martial arts, like I told you in the beginning, and being involved with after school activities like track and cross country. Because if I didn't do those, I would have been sitting at home feeling sorry for myself and not being very productive. So that's why my parents My sister always told me to be more productive and go do different things. Also being part of the statewide self-advocacy network. And what I like to show people I'm capable of being independent is, so that way they can rely on me being independent in case that they're not always there. And it's always good to take things and do things and take action and do what needs to be done. My sister, when she taught me how to read, my sister taught me how to read at 6 or 7. Taught me how to read books and read words, and even my parents did too. It's not only my sister, my parents taught me how to read. If they didn't push me to learn how to read, I wouldn't be up here today reading. And then when I went to Spain, and she taught me to not to be overprotected by my parents. That was the trip that back in 1999, my sister and I, we were gonna go to the wine country. That's where my parents used to go. And then my sister said, "No, we don't want to go to the wine country. We want to go to a place." So we used to stay. My sister and I used to stay at youth hostels, and we did our own thing. And then did pay for the meals and lived on a small budget back in those days. So that taught us actually responsibilities of being adults, because you can't always rely on your parents on going on trips with them all the time, because they're not always going to be there. So we both learned something then. And that's why families like me, when they, like my parents, and my sister told me to take responsibilities on going to the California Conservation Board to be more independent and learn how to live with roommates and learn and get to know other people and things like that, so I don't have to stay home and feel sorry for myself. There's nothing to do. And when I did the California Conservation, it was shortly after I graduated from high school, less than a year. Here are the countries I traveled to. And then when I travel means that I'm learning different kind of people, what their lifestyles are, and what kind of ethnic foods they eat, and I figured out the new things is what kind of buildings there are, and what the architects they are, and like how the roads are in comparison to the United States, because some of the countries that I'm at, the roads are very old. So like when you go to Greece, the roads are old, or like Spain too, and the buildings are very small. So that's why they're old. Trust me. If you ever go there, and you'll know. Okay, this is a picture of me at the UC Davis Mine Institute. I've been there for 2 years now, over 2 years. I also help out when I do Success Defined resource fairs and outreach programs. I also help out, I'm filing in the mailroom. I also help out doing evaluations for conferences. I put them on the computer and then count up the evals from all the different conferences, resource fairs, or whatever they have, special events. So I do that, and now I've also been burning CDs of ADAPT One Means of Autism, Distant Education, parent and training. So it means it's a lady that works there, she's a staff member, and she developed the ADAPT CDs, ADAPT 1 and now she's doing 2. She just did English and Spanish. So that's what I've been doing. And now I'm a mentor to 2 new interns and now a new staff member that just started another new one. So this is a slide that I had earlier in my presentation. I hope that you can see that I'm a person that I am today because I had the opportunities to be included in important jobs and activities. I would have not had these opportunities if I always been segregated programs for people with disabilities. I also would not have been a role model for people with disabilities or helping out people who don't have disabilities know that I am a smart and capable of being an important part of my family, faith, work, and the community too. So if I didn't have all that, I probably would have lived in a mental institution in Cleveland. So,
We all would have.
so you guys got any questions
Any questions?
before you guys have to